Hi, guys. Welcome back. If you're new to the show, please think about subscribing. And if you've been here before, hit the thumbs up for a change. And, guys, today we're going to be listening to people rant about the cost of living. Everything is so expensive. Everything is so expensive. Let's hear what people have to say.
So I have been a manager for a corporate wireless company. I've worked for the company for 8 years almost, and I'm very thankful for the job. I'm not complaining about my job or my company. If you had told me a few years ago that I'd be making what I make now, and I would still have to get a side job, I would have laughed at you. I'd be like, no, once I'm making that amount of money, I'll be, I'll be cool. I won't need anything else. Well, the cost of living is insane. And granted, I have 3 kids. I'm a single mom. I don't have any help for, my bills or anything. I literally am starting a side cleaning business. This is the first house that I'm doing, and I'm actually excited about it because I don't mind cleaning. But I'm spending my off day today, my only off day without kids, because they're at their dad's, working another job. I don't know how some people are getting by. I'm barely getting by. The the cost of groceries, the cost of rent, or just buying a house now, gas, literally everything. I feel like I walk outside and $100 just flies out of my bank account without me even doing anything. It's a little depressing.
So I totally agree with her, guys. The cost of living is through the roof. It sounds like the father of the children is still in her life somewhat from the standpoint of he takes the kids. So I'm hoping he pays a little child support too. If you find yourself thinking about taking on a second or third job, let me know. Is it just me or does she look a little like Alyssa Milano and maybe Betty Boop?
Would you pay £384 for your child to go on a school trip for 4 nights? My son is going on a school trip very soon. It looks amazing, full on activities, and some of the activities like I would love to do myself. The place looks amazing, but £384 for 4 nights, I think is extortionate. He is going. We are going to pay for it. Can't afford it, but we'll pay for it. But what would you do? I didn't have the heart to say no to him. He would have been one of very few not going from his.
Okay, so 384 pound is about $475 as of today. I think for 4 days, I say splurge and let the kids have their trip with their school friends. However, if you're totally broke and it means you have to put it on a credit card, maybe talk to your son to see if there's another alternative. I'm sure that not every single kid went on that trip, but if they did, then you probably go to a pretty well-off school and you probably deep down have the money to afford it.
First, I find out that China's middle class tax rate is 8 to 9%. Then I find out that they have an over 90% homeownership rate. Then I find out that they have less than 1% homelessness. Also, they pay $100 a month for unlimited access to all health care, anything that they need. And just so you know, they also don't pay property tax. Guys, I'm not okay. I am not okay.
So that sounds devastating. It makes one want to move to China, yet she still lives in the US and so do I. So the question I have for you is, are you ready to move? Of course not.
Let's have a conversation. Can we talk about how expensive life is right now?
Yes.
We were like, hey, let's do a cheap and easy dinner tonight. So we were going to get Little Caesars. We got a pizza, a thing of crazy bread, and a 2 liter of pop, and it was almost $17. That is crazy. I remember when Little Caesars was literally like $5 flat.
Now, wait a minute. I agree with her. $5 flat was just for the pizza. If you wanted the breadsticks, I think it was what, another $1.99 and then another $2.79 for the soda. Even back then, 17 bucks for all that stuff. That's a pretty darn good deal. I had Barro's pizza the other day. If you've ever had Barro's or Sardellas, just know those are my favorites.
We stopped at the store on the way to get the pizza. I got a gallon of chocolate milk and it was $7. And then I was like, ooh, I want like something sweet after my pizza. I got a Hershey's bar, $2.68, almost $3 for a candy bar. We went to McDonald's last night and it was $20 for 2 people with coupons, and we didn't go crazy. We each got 2 sandwiches, a fry, and a pop, and it was over $20. Both of the kids need diapers and it's gonna be $100. Like, they both get regular and nighttime diapers, so it's gonna be $100 just for diapers. But I guess really what I want to know is, how are you guys living right now? How is everyone affording life?
So we all know diapers and shit are expensive, right? But here's a question I have for you that my daughter brought up to me. Does the regular size Reese's peanut butter cups taste way better than those miniature size ones? And does that reflect the whole candy bar universe? In other words, do the regular size candy bars always taste better than the fun size? Because my daughter and I would argue that they do. Jesse, this is supposed to be about inflation. Yeah, inflate your needs and get the good size candy bar.
Here are the 3 things that I will not give up as the cost of living increases. Getting my hair done. I refuse to not get my hair done. That is the one thing for me. For some girls, it's nails. For some girls, it's your toes. But for me, it's my hair. Like, I need to have my hair done. I do not have the luxury of knowing how to do my own cornrows or how to braid my own hair. Those genes were not passed down to me. I don't know how to do a lot of hairstyles by myself. Like this, I paid somebody to do. Like, the girlies be charging. You got to do some digging and try to find the right person that has those price ranges for you. These knotless braids cost me $180. This is week 4 of my hair. We are still doing good. Honestly, to me, it's worth it in the long run because you can refresh them and make them last longer. The second thing that I will not give up is vacations. Your girl works 40 hours a week. I need to be able to go somewhere and blow off some steam, enjoy my time, like relax or have fun or experience the world. Like, I don't care how expensive it gets. I will always budget traveling, because traveling, I love going to places. I was in Mexico a few months ago. I was in New York like 2 months ago. I already have my next trip planned.
Okay, so I think that if you're going to spend 100 or 200 bucks on your hair and it does last you a month or longer, that's not too horrible. Vacations aren't bad, but you don't have to necessarily go on the cruise that's going to, take your checking and savings account to zero. Plan accordingly, save a little out of each check, and at the end of the year, go on a vacation, but go on a reasonable one. And keep in mind, if you are broke, it's a staycation, okay? Don't go into debt and create credit card debt just so you can go out of town for a week.
So not only have I just found out that our rent is increasing from $680 a week to $730, but this right here, all of this just costs $67. Like, nothing significant. Coffee syrup, some herbs and spices, buns, lettuce. Your girl's just trying to survive out here. And I also had to pay import duty tax today, and they didn't take my certificate of origin, which didn't give me a discount. I'm over it.
Now, the prices she said sound high, but keep in mind, based on her voice, I'm guessing she's either from Australia or Arkansas.
I picked up some basic items that I normally go for. I'm just going to talk you through how really it is really here, and it is local. So normally they know me for the croissants where I live, yeah. So I'll be going in there in the morning and they're like, oh yeah, they're ready, they're just coming out, right? So I've gone over there now, and when you're just in your zone, you just like be picking it and whatever. The price is meant to be the same, right? I've gone to pick out the croissant just here, yeah. I've gone to pick it out and it's saying £1. So I'm like looking around to see if there's any cameras, to see if it's a prank or something, yeah? Because just a week before, or 2 weeks before, I hadn't been there for a second, it was like 70p, 60p or something like that, yeah? So I was just like, hold on. In the space of 14 days, this same croissant, yeah, has gone up by that much. It's like, damn. And yeah, not to mention the apple juice. Now, I like my apple juice fresh, yeah, but this same apple juice, when I moved into the area and I started going to Tesco's, was £1. It is now £1.80. That's an 80% increase on the.
That is ridiculous. That almost doubled in price, but is it just me, Americans, or does that look more like orange juice? than apple juice. I had Nature's Own. I forget the name of it, but it's an apple juice that does have that brownish look, but that looks yellow. What kind of apple juice are you guys drinking? Oh my God, this lady looks like she's ready to hurt somebody.
I'm just cutting up some onions and some bell peppers because I'm gonna make some tacos and sell them to the construction guys down the street. But I was seeing a lot of people say something about the fact that me being aware of my own social class makes people think that I have a poverty mindset when it's the furthest from the truth. I feel that if you are aware of your class, you start buying produce that makes more. I just made a big batch of tamales and I made 10 dozen tamales. I'm gonna feed like 5 families with all that. I made a batch of frijoles and I'm gonna help somebody come home from work and they don't want to cook anything. They don't have enough money to go buy food, but they have frijoles. And I'm sure somewhere in the fridge there's some tortillas and they're gonna eat that night. Tell me how that makes you think that you have a poverty mindset.
So if you go to the store and just get a can of refried beans for $1.29, and you get a dozen flour tortillas for, I think $1.50, get the store brand, right? You have enough bean burritos to enjoy the night, and it only cost you a couple bucks. At breakfast time, go get a couple of packets of oatmeal. They sell you 12 or 13 packets for $1.39. Again, the store brand. It's not a poor mindset. It's a, hey, I need to put some food in my stomach, but I'm going to try to make the best decision I can. Keep doing what you're doing, girl. Make your tamales. Good for you. Right.
I just hate how older people always talking about, oh, y'all young people don't want to work. Y'all always want stuff handed to y'all. Y'all lazy. Y'all always complaining. Pause. Let me pause you right there. Do y'all not realize that it's so fucking hard living in this generation in today's time compared to how it was in 1950, 1960, 1970, and the 80 and the 90s? It's very hard in 2024. See, back then, y'all rent was $200, $300, $400 a month. Y'all little car note was not that expensive. Grocery back then was not that expensive. You could probably get away with paying $40 for a whole carload of groceries. Nowadays, you can spend over $500, $200 just going to the store, going to Walmart and Publix, getting a few items, and that's it. Like, people, we struggling. Working the bare minimum. I'm a teacher with my associate's degree. Might get paid $12, $13, $14, but you got athletes out here kicking the damn ball getting paid millions. Make it make sense. And they ain't doing shit to change the world. And then soon as we quit a little job, y'all always want to talk about, oh, you should have held on to that little job, or oh, you should have kept it. Don't nobody want to put up with the bare minimum. Especially if we get paid like $10 an hour, $11 an hour. Like, y'all don't get it. Like, why is everything going up, but the wages in these jobs ain't going up? Like, the cost of living is going up. Our rent went from $950 to $1,000. They did not come in. They did not renovate nothing, fix nothing. They ain't did shit. The rent just automatically went up January the 1st.
She ain't lying. The rents go up all the time and they never go up 10 or 15 bucks. They always go up 50 to sometimes $200 in one shot, and it repeats the next cycle as well. She brought up something there. She makes 12 or 13 bucks an hour as a teacher. She's not a teacher. She must make that as an assistant teacher, right? But here's the problem with the education folks. I love teachers. I love sped teachers, right? They make decent money, not great money by any means, but you never hear them talking about the paraprofessionals and the assistant teachers that literally make bare bone minimum money, and they have the absolute toughest job. It's right up there with the teacher's job because they're helping with our kids that are in special education classes. So the next time somebody tells you they're a paraprofessional or an assistant teacher, tell them good job, that you appreciate that they do what they do. Oh God, speaking of crazy, look at this guy.
Okay, so I just got back from a road trip to California. So this is for all my Californians out there. I get that it's expensive to live in California, right? Hands down. The weather was beautiful. We were in LA. We went to Universal Studios, hence the Mario. It was great.
Love it.
And I know that it's expensive. But my question is, so anybody that lives in California in places like, no offense, Blythe, California, or Yuma, or any of these places that aren't like the nice parts of California, everything's still super expensive. We stopped in Blythe, California, went to McDonald's, just driving through, and a regular burger was like $5.34 for a cheeseburger, which is in Arizona like $2, right? So how do you live in California and pay California prices but live in a place like Blythe?
I think he brings up another point entirely. Why do people find California so darn special? Yes, I know they have a beach. Yes, I know they have all the athletes and famous entertainers out there. But my goodness, it's so expensive. It seems to me like it would be too stressful to enjoy. And to all you people in Blythe, I'm not going to give you any shade. If you're from Blythe, let us know down in the comments.
So I recently was forced to get a Nectar card at Sainsbury's, and yeah, I had one like 10 years ago, whatever, but I had to get a new one because that's apparently how you save money on your shop. Why do we live in a world where you can't get a fair price for an item unless you give over personal information to a giant corporation?
Good
like
point.
seriously, like surely if you go to a shop, the item should be priced at its price. The price is the price, not the price is oh, if you're not a member of this club, you get it as a much higher. Like I'm talking about, like if I spend 95 quid at Sainsbury's, like I'll save 10 quid by having a card. That's fine, but I've been to Sainsbury's countless times when I didn't have a card and I paid the extra, and it's just frustrating. It's like, how do we live in a society where you just have different rules for different people who have different types? Like, old people might not have a Nectar card, or maybe they love a Nectar card, but like, you know, like if you're not aware, or if you haven't got a smartphone, or if you're just, again, it's like, what do they call it? The poverty premium. It's like the poor people, like it just, I don't know, it's just really frustrating that the fact that we just don't live in a world where, like, for example, an egg is a cost of an egg.
Brings up a wonderful point. I wish stores would get rid of their VIP cards and their price saver cards, but it is what it is. If you go into a store and you notice it's cheaper if you have their card, go up to customer service, give them all your info. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like China and you're giving up your information by making a text message to your buddy with the iPhone when your buddy with the iPhone doesn't even want to talk to you because you're an Android user.
No idea. So I just got out of my dentist appointment. On this side, I had to do a root canal and a crown on one tooth.
So that's one way you could save money. Avoid sugar and brush your teeth.
One, okay? And I was allowed to do a payment plan, okay? So like 500 one time I go, 500 the next time I go, and then like the place they referred me to was like 1,000 or something. Tell me why when I pull up to the dentist office, they say that for one part, not for one part of the one tooth, not for the whole thing. Now I'm being quoted for a third as $827. $827 when I was literally quoted $500 for the visit. Do people just think that, like, we're made of money?
Okay, so I have a problem with the dentist. One time I went to the dentist that literally is across the street, and they told me I had like 22 cavities and I needed to get some teeth pulled. This is no joke, guys. 3 or 4 years later, I go to the same area, same office, but it's owned by a different company. They tell me I have one cavity. $150 or whatever, and it was done. So I don't trust the dentist very often. If you go to a dentist and they tell you something high, you owe it to yourself to get a second opinion. You really do. And she has really pretty eyes.
Anybody else want to have a little mini freak out with me? Because I just went grocery shopping and I'm tired of going to the grocery store and having to do math every time I put something in my cart because everything is just so expensive. Like I literally just got 4 bags of groceries, spent $75. How? Tell me, how did I do that? How?
4 bags of groceries for $75 is actually normal. Do you remember when we were watching Walmart videos just a couple weeks ago and people would have a bottle of water and 2 or 3 things of ketchup and salt and pepper, and then they would try to tell us that they spent $80? This girl's actually telling the truth, and I agree with her. 80 bucks for 4 bags of groceries. It just depends on how much stuff you have in it. But even that's upsetting. But what's really upsetting is when the TikTokers exaggerate.
And don't even tell me to start budgeting, because my budget went out the window when groceries started costing me like I just can't. I'm so tired of not being able to afford. Just like, I want to go to the grocery store and just get what I need. It's just so frustrating when you feel like you're trying, and nothing is working. Like, I'm just tired of having no money because all my money goes to groceries and gas, and it's ridiculous. It is literally so ridiculous how hard we are out here working, and it's like we have nothing to show for it. I have absolutely no idea how I'm gonna afford, like, Christmas.
I don't blame her for stressing out. What I really like, though, is I think she's being honest. 4 bags of groceries, 80 bucks or so, that seems normal. I just don't trust when people say, hey, these 3 items here, it somehow cost me $85. And it's like, come on, let's get real. Let's start saving our money. Let's fast. Are you guys ready to fast? We can save money if we all fast.
Can someone tell me why LA is so out of touch? My boyfriend and I are trying to move. Our cap is $5,000, which is basically a mortgage payment. I don't even know if I want to own a home. I would just like a little bit extra room. If we find something that we like, it's in a really shitty part of the neighborhood, or if we do find something that we're like, oh, okay, this is in our price range, which, by the way, $5,000 is a lot of money to pay to rent something that you don't even own. And then we find something and then it doesn't have a yard for my dog, or it doesn't have a garage, and it's like, these are like, everybody should have a yard, everybody should have a garage, and you want me to pay $6,500 for something that doesn't have black mold in it? I mean, LA is just like, I don't even know how people live here.
So let's say you absolutely love LA and you decide you want to move out there. That's what you're looking at. To live in a good neighborhood, you got to pay 5, 6 grand a month for rent. That is ridiculous. And in New York, you have to pay slightly more and you get to live in like a closet. Absolutely crazy. But if you are living in a small place, if you do feel cramped and stressed and you don't have any money, put your shoes on and come for a walk with me one of these days. I hope you enjoyed hearing people moan and groan about their money. Hopefully, you're in a better spot. I hope you come back and visit us again tomorrow. We'll look at some more videos together. Have fun, and we'll see you then.